So we are now going to bring this great teaching from the space and make a dedication to the Northern Light drum, the gong, which arrived at the Tai Chi Center yesterday. It's the only one of its kind in the world. It's been beaten up by a master of gong making in Germany and has now reached the northern shores of the country of the Northern Lights. So it's a dedication for peace, for light, for love, and for humanity.
让我瞧一下这个也可以。我念一个，我们藏传佛教当中有一句话，佛经里面怎么讲的呢？当去年比第二东西，俺们干着东一着，特别按着老姐呢，年些了了没去过。意思就是说，为了听说这个真理，就因为为了听说这个真理呢，就是首先跟大家就是这种宣布发出一个信号，然后敲的什么，敲的锣啊，击坠啊，就对发鼓啊，就对这样的这种声音，谁听到的话呢，也获得解脱。如果我们真的去听的话呢，那更不用说。因此我们有一种说法呢，就是叫做听到的这种声音呢，也会在他的心里种下一个解脱的这种种子。所以但愿呢，我们就是这种敲鼓的声音，谁听到的话，大家都获得了真正的这种利益。
Before I strike this gong, I would like to tell you a little something about what's stated in the Buddhist sutra. In the sutra, it is stated that in order to hearing the truth, in order to hear the teaching of the truth, therefore I extend this sound so that people whomsoever hears this sound will attain liberation eventually, and don't even mention to those of people who listen to the Dharma, to the teaching itself. So I wish people whomsoever hears this sound will plant a little seed in their mind of the seed of liberation. So I hope all of you would gain some benefits from hearing this sound.
我们敲它的时候，通过自己的方式来灌自己的心。
So when we hear the sound of the gong, let's use our own methods, your own methods, to look at your mind.
也许你认识自己的世界，或者是整个世界。
Maybe it's time for you to see the nature of your mind, and maybe it's time for you to see the nature of the world.
So we open invitation now for any questions.
I'm curious about what you believe in what Tesla was doing with his search for scientific and spiritual answers. And how much of that will come from forward the next time?
实际上，现在我们这个人类呢，我刚才为什么说，也是到了非常的这个恐惧的时候嘛，因为各个国家呢，它有大量的这种开支，然后建了自己的这种武器，那天我们去美国联合国的一个中部，一天的这种军事的开支都是50多亿美元，它完全的是让足够这个非洲的4个非常贫穷的这些国家的这个饥荒。但是我们现在全世界的很多人，他并不是内心当中真正以和平作为自己的这种主流思想，就是互相都有一种不信任，或者说准备敌对各种因为历史的原因，所以人类其实各个国家都处于很大的危险。我是对关于在这些方面是非常的担心，但也无能为力。
I think people are at a point where there's a lot of sense of danger in this world. For example, nowadays all the governments invest so much in the weaponry. I was at the UN headquarters about a few weeks ago, and the number for the U.S. weaponry, the armory spending yearly is about $5 billion, which is sufficient to resolve the food security issue in 4 African countries. I think people nowadays have so much of insecurity, of so much lack of trust towards each other. Therefore, there's a sense of aggression and a sense of opposition towards each other. And I really worry about the future of this world. Unfortunately, I feel I can't really do much about it.
Thank you. In the future, if we can, by technology, develop tools to bring our brain into a state of mindfulness or even enlightenment, do you think that is a good thing or not?
如果真正通过科技来证悟都是很好的，但有时候我觉得通过科技来这个证悟也有一定的困难。我们佛教里面有一些观想这个本尊，但是有些人通过科幻就是做一些本尊啊，但是我去观的时候反而就不好观，就是一直觉得是它是一个假的，就不如我用自己的方式来观想的话，就是获得的价值更大。第二个原因呢，因为到目前为止科技是对心理方面是非常非常的空白，包括心理学家的话呢，他们都是通过一些脑科学和生物科学，就是对自己的意识，就我们佛教讲这种8种意识，它第6意识的是还没有完全掌握，所以对未来的可能一段时间用科技来认识，我觉得是非常困难，基本上不可能。
Well, I think if technology could really do that, I would be happy. However, I really doubt it. I think it would be really difficult. For example, in Buddhism, we have this practice of visualizing a deity as a visualization practice, and there are people who developed this technological approach to see the deity as a visualization or project a picture of the deity. But when I truly stand in front of that projection, I felt that projection or that visualization was really fake. I don't really feel any kind of blessings that could descend from the deity. However, when I visualize the deity, I feel much more blessings down on me. Nowadays, that's my first reason, and I think the second reason is nowadays the science research into the mind is still it is still not quite developed. There's still a big empty area, a big blank. Lots of the neuroscientists would study the mind. Psychologists study the mind. In Buddhism, we talk about 8 consciousness. The modern science hasn't really transcended the 6th yet, and they haven't really truly grasped on the understanding of 6th consciousness yet. Therefore, I highly doubt that technology would develop into that stage.
In your opinion, what would happen to humanity if artificial intelligence should reach self-awareness?
实际上这几年，人工智能，发展的太快，很多人都比较担忧，就是它的包括阿尔法狗的一些，它的这种超越人类的一些行为的话呢，是比较担忧。有时候2个人工智能互相对话的时候呢，没有给它教的有些语言，就他们自己对话起来，也有很多可怕的现象。但总的来讲呢，我觉得人工智能的很多的这些数据呢，实际上也是我们人类在后面就是继续就保存和继续，就跟它就是创造的。因此，从现在的目前的一些，包括人工智能方面的很多的唯一的专家，我们今年在台南的时候，阿尔法狗的给他命名的这个科学家呢，我也问过这个问题，但是他说是暂时来讲就是绝不可能超越这个人类的，因为这个技术掌握在人手里。
Well, in the past few years, the artificial intelligence, the AI developed really fast, maybe too fast. Lots of people really worry about the development of AI. For example, the AlphaGo has already surpassed human Go players. And another example would be when the one AI program talks to another AI program. The AI programs didn't really go with the scripts of the human engineers, but they created their own language. So that was really concerning and very scary to a lot of people. But I think the AI, or behind the whole phenomena of AI, is still data that's supported and that's created by human beings. I was with this scientist or engineer from AlphaGo. In fact, he is the person who named AlphaGo. And when I asked this question to him, could AI surpass human in the near future? And he told me a very positive answer that temporarily it would seem to be very impossible, because right now the technology behind AI is still in the hands of humans.
Yeah, I was wondering, what do we do about if you have only negative vibrations from a family member? Should we just accept it as it is, or do something about it?
其实不管是家里的人，自己就特别消极，或者说是有特殊的这些状态的时候呢，我们应该接受。在生活当中，任何事情是最好不逃避，就勇敢的面对。但面对的方式呢，就是需要有一种技巧，也有必要就是问一些有智慧的人，也有必要通过寻找一个最好的这种方法。但不管怎么样，就是有一些就是不太好的这种状态的话呢，实际上是正在提升的这种阶段当中。就我觉得，这并不是什么不是好的事情，应该是有很多方法。
Well, it doesn't matter in your family, your family members or yourself have lots of negative emotions. If it's overwhelming, I think it's really important to accept them and not to run away from them. The negative emotions. It's really important to face them with skills. Even sometimes ask for wise words from experienced people and find help. Find ways to be happy. I think when situations like that happens, it's try not to view it as an obstacle, but to view them as opportunities to advance yourself, to grow. Things like that is not necessarily all bad.
Thank you for coming here to give us a reality check on how superficial or profound our happiness is in Norway. As an expert in the science of the mind, do you think you could give us one thing we can do together before we leave today? And one thing we can do when we arrive home that will help us to have clearer, more happy minds?
我本来想是到挪威来获得更高的快乐。
In fact, I came to Norway for more happiness.
如果挪威就是再快乐的话，那就全世界就没办法用这个幸福指数来表示。
If every country is as happy as Norway, I guess the gross national happiness ranking is not really useful anymore.
所以我们其实最快乐的话呢，应该是怎么讲啊？就是不是最痛苦的时候，也不是最快乐的时候，比较满足的状态，这就是应该是很快乐的。当然这个呢。我都刚才讲了，就是其实真正的这个快乐呢，来自于心，就是人是心的本性的话呢，应该是最好的这种快乐。但这种方法呢，最好的方法呢，就是可能是通过禅修，或者是通过有一些方式的话，我自己认为是可能这个是最有深度的一些快乐，而且不容易改变的快乐。
It's really important to be happy. But when we define happiness, we usually look for really happy, being really happy. But I think it's quite important to have a balance. You're not extremely sad, you're not ecstatic. So that sense of being happy and being contented with that is really important. In terms of method, how can we be happy? I think to look at your mind, to observe your mind could lead to happiness. And how do you do that? You can meditate. I think that's really the best method. And I think in this way, that happiness that comes with it is really profound.
I have a question. I recently lost a very close family member. Somehow I felt it's really spiritually connected with the person who I lost. Just always come to my mind, also come to my dreams sometimes, that this person was telling me that he has not left this world. And I'm just wondering, in Buddhism or any practice, how are these phenomena is explained? Is this something that just happens to our brains, such an incident happened, or there is any further meaning about it? Thank you.
实际上，这种现象呢有两种，就有一种情况呢，他的意识呢就是确实还可能就是对自己的家人啊，对自己的就是比如说亲朋好友呢，一直是有惦记着，就是所以他的这种灵魂的话呢，就是他一直还没有就是投生啊，还没有得到其他的，就可能会经常有这方面的，就是所以为了这个的话，比如说念一些观音心咒，就是嗡嘛呢叭咪吽啊，就藏地都有一种这种专门有一些意识，就是在我们佛教当中有一些意识，但是这个可以通过这个嗡嘛呢叭咪吽来就是让解决。还有一种呢，就是它可能不是这样的现象，但是因为自己这个日有所思，这个夜有所梦，就是白天因为这方面想的比较多，就是所以呢可能会就是导致这个懵懂呢，就是也出现这样的这种现象。
Well, there are two possibilities. The first possibility is that the person's consciousness is still very much attached to the family members and still very much attached to this world. And this person is not really reborn yet. So if this is the case, Om Mani Padme Hum would work. That's the mantra that helps in such a situation. In Tibet, we also perform certain ceremonies, certain rituals to help people whose consciousness has not left. The second possibility is that it is not that the person's consciousness has not left, but you yourself thinks about this person a lot. And we usually say that you dream what you think. So if you think a lot of that person, it will naturally appear in your dreams.
Well, 最后就让我就这个太极中心呢，要求给大家做个祈福，然后我念一个祈福，他就做结尾。
Okay, last but not least, I will offer a prayer that Tai Chi Center asked me to do. So this prayer is offered to all of you, and then after that, we'll end today's teaching.
현재 전부 쏟아니 매정 동네 몸은 침부는 결다 바거던 감선도 실물도 돈바 투지 전라기 점사를 상주선 조름 보체 마케판의 계절을 기반년 밤에 공동한 배를 쇼 두바체 아마샤죠 기와 부슴 소바게 랑고셈네 용선도 너는 산게 담바연 카르마라를 말메다 기마저와 저를 물론로도 준다 디시에 줄는 데르다 어야
谢谢 It's such an honor, privilege to have welcomed you here and to receive your teachings. They have sunk deeply into our minds and hearts. I know that we can become one, with one mind, in one breath, as one kind. Your kindness has touched me profoundly. Thank you so much for coming and sharing in this great privilege that we've been together this evening. And to you too, I say, stay close. And a safe journey. And have a good life. Enjoy. And stay happy, Norway. Thank you.